Welcome back to another devotional in the book of Proverbs. It's day 6 in the Proverbs Summer Challenge, and the amount of wisdom in this book has yet to be even scratched. So, if you have already prayed on your own, if you've already read Proverbs chapter 6 on your own, then let's dive in. Today we focus in on a passage that addresses an issue that is so dangerous to our generation today. Laziness. The attitude of our world today is becoming more and more of an entitled victim, in which you think that you deserve the fruits of the labor in which you did not work for. Our world today is becoming more and more lazy, and it will not only allow you to become lazy, but it will also encourage you to become lazy today. And maybe your attitude right now is, just not caring that much. I'm just a junior hire. I'll become a hard worker when I'm an adult. Or it's just so funny. I'm lazy. I'm just so lazy. I do an hour of work in the morning of schoolwork, and then I just play video games and watch YouTube all day. So funny. I'm just so lazy. It's not funny. And I pray that that's not your attitude today, because as we'll see in our passage today, the lazy sluggard is always led to poverty. Always led to poverty. Not only will it suffer the loss of riches, it will not even have the basic necessities of life. That's how poor the sluggard will become. The sluggard will suffer hunger, poverty, and failure. So let's see that in our passage today, Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 11. Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 11. Go to the ant, O sluggard, observe her ways and be wise, which, having no chief, officer, or ruler, prepares her food in the summer and gathers her provision in the harvest. How long will you lie down, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Your poverty will come in like a vagabond, and your want like an armed man. First, let's look at the ant described here in verses 6 through 8. The ant serves as an encouragement to the sluggard to wake up from its idleness, and it serves as an example for us today on how to live wisely for the glory of God. Now, this is most likely a harvester ant which lives throughout the Middle East, and it stores grain for itself in its nest. But what is so cool about this ant is that it does not have an overseer. It does not have a boss telling it what to do. And you might be thinking, well, that's cool. I want to be like the ant. I don't want a boss either. But that's not the point. The point is that this ant does not have a boss, and yet it still works hard on its own initiative. This ant doesn't need someone constantly nagging it to keep working harder and harder. The ant works hard on its own. Now, would you work hard on your own if your parents didn't tell you to work hard? Would you still work hard on your own initiative? Will you always have your parents to remind you to work hard? You won't. And a hard work attitude doesn't just develop at midnight on your 18th birthday. It's developed now, today. And why do we work hard? To become rich? To become wealthy? No, we work hard so that we can glorify God. I remember our college pastor and elder here at FBC saying, if I had millions of dollars today, I wouldn't just give it to my daughters now, all at once. I would give it to my daughters little by little, maybe when they turned 40, so that now they wouldn't have all this money and just miss out on working hard because they needed to work hard in order to survive. Because if I give it to them now, then they will not learn how to work hard as if their life depended on it. I thought that was cool. Being a hard worker is important, and it has its purpose. It's not just something we keep nagging you to do. being a hard worker is important. So, be like the ant. Do not be like the sluggard described here in our next section. The sluggard is described here in verses 9 through 11. So let's reread it. Verse 9, it says, "How long will you lie down, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Your poverty will come in like a vagabond, and your want like an armed man. How much longer will you sleep, sluggard? Just a little longer." In its foolishness, the sluggard will only wake up to poverty like a vagabond, which is basically a person who wanders from place to place without a home or a job. Students, it is not cool to be lazy. It is not a cool thing to be. It's not cool to be addicted to your phones and video games and just use those all day. It's not cool to waste your life. Yahweh will not just brush off laziness because you're a junior hire. We learned yesterday that Yahweh is just, and He will give the lazy person poverty, the poverty that they deserve. One of the most dangerous attitudes that you can develop today, students, is that of the sluggards, the procrastinator, the one who continually puts off until tomorrow what should be done today. If you do this, poverty will hit you. And it might seem sudden like a robber, but it will be a result of your own procrastination and of your own laziness. Avoid becoming like the sluggard at all costs. I'll leave you with this quote I came across earlier, again from J.C. Ryle. He says this: "Tomorrow is the devil's day, but today is God's." Satan does not care how spiritual your intentions are or how holy your resolutions, if only they are determined to be done tomorrow. What Satan loves the most is when you say, "I'll read my Bible tomorrow," or "I'll make sure to grow in my godliness and stay away from my sin and just stop sinning tomorrow. I'll become more like Christ tomorrow." Do not wait until tomorrow. Become a hard worker for the glory of God today. This is Proverbs 6. I'll see you tomorrow for Proverbs chapter 7.